Welcome to the channel, or welcome back, family. I am so glad you're here. Blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk in the Torah of Yah. Blessed are those who observe his witnesses, who seek him with all their heart. Yes, they shall do no unrighteousness. They shall walk in his ways. You have commanded us to guard your orders diligently. Oh, that my ways were established to guard your laws. Then I would not be ashamed when I look into your commands. I thank you with uprightness of heart. When I learn the right rulings of your righteousness, I guard your laws. Oh, do not leave me entirely. How would a young man or a young woman cleanse their path? To guard it according to your word. I have sought you with all my heart. Let not me stray from your laws. I have treasured up your word in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed are you, O Yah. Teach me your laws. Lights, camera, action. Voice actors are needed. Family, have you always had the desire to act out life? Were you in your school plays and things of that nature? Have your friends or family always told you need to be on TV? Well, listen, here is the opportunity for you to use your gift, time, and talents to glorify the Most High Yahuwah. I'm looking for some voice actors to do some voice plays for inspiration, for correction, and for teaching. These plays are fun, meaningful, and deep. We have comedy, we have drama, we have suspense, we have all that you need for a full story. The only thing we don't have is you. So if this sounds like something you want to get involved in, send me an email to connect, the letter N, spirit, the letter N, truth@gmail.com, and say, hey, I want to be a part of the play. And I'll give you more information and we'll see what Yahuwah has in store.
Father Yah, in the name of Yeshua, I bless this broadcast, this message, this information, this instruction, but not because of who I am, because of who Yah is. I've heard my wife's words, her messages, her lessons, her reading of the word, and they are good because they are Yah's word. So Yah, be it your will, continue blessing her message, her expressing of your message, the understanding of the word, not just reciting the scriptures, but understanding the meaning of the scriptures and the walk that it will take you, the straight and narrow. Some of this will be a little difficult to digest, but truth hurts. The same way a scab hurts or a cut hurts, it heals. It brings different understanding and learning and a different purpose in life. So through Yah, the Messiah, Yah and the Messiah, I put a blessing on these words because of his power, Yah's, that she may speak into your lives, speaking to your walk, which to me is the most important part, because that's what the word is. A message on how to walk. So as she speaks these messages through scriptures on how to walk in Yah's way with the example of the Messiah, I hope that you're edified. I pray that you're edified and blessed by the message you are about to receive. In Messiah's name.
So be it and be it so. Now let's get into this segment. So family, yesterday it dropped into my spirit. Sackcloth. Sackcloth dropped into my spirit. So of course, y'all already know I'm going to do some internet research, right? From Google, Wikipedia, chat, whatever, to find out the information that I need. So here's some information that I came across that I want to share with you. So it says in the Bible, wearing sackcloth, and this is from gotquestions.com or something like that. So in the Bible, wearing sackcloth, a coarse, uncomfortable fabric made of goat or camel hair, symbolized deep mourning, intense grief, or sincere repentance and humility before Yahweh. It is often paired with ashes and fasting to demonstrate a broken heart. So key mentions include Genesis chapter 37, verse 34. It also includes Jonah chapter 3, verses 5 and 8, and Revelation 11:3. So it actually says Jacob, Genesis 37:34, Nineveh, Jonah 3, verses 5 through 8, and Revelation. So let's get at it. Let's start reading Genesis 37:34. I hope you guys get used to chiming into these segments with your Bibles or Bible apps when you can. I know some of you may just be listening in a drive to wherever you got to get. But for those of you that may be listening in at home and, you know what I mean, you just kind of chilling, you was scrolling on YouTube and you came across Sister Malaka's video, please, I encourage you, please do so with your Bibles, okay? So, all right, that's Genesis 37. Verse 34. And Jacob, tore his garments and put sackcloth on his waist and mourned for his son many days. So we see an example of someone putting on sackcloth in a time of mourning. So let's go to Jonah chapter 3. And it was verses 5 and 8. And the men of Nineveh believed Elohim and proclaimed a fast and put on sackcloth, from the greatest to the least of them. And now let's go on to Revelations chapter 11, verse 3. And it says, and I shall give unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clad in sackcloth. Wow. So then it goes on. It says, here is a comprehensive list of Bible verses regarding the wearing of sackcloth, organized for clarity. So we have Old Testament, mourning and grief. We already went over Genesis 37:34, and now we have 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 31. 2 Samuel, okay, chapter 3. What was the verse? 31. And Dawid said to Joab and to all the people who were with him, tear your garments, gird yourselves with sackcloth, and mourn for Abner. And sovereign Dawid followed the coffin. Next is 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 10. 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 10. And again, this is all the verses on people wearing sackcloth in times of mourning. So again, that was 2 Samuel 21:10. 21, verse 10. Okay. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock from the beginning of the harvest until the rain. I want to know what was going on, y'all. So y'all already know I'm about to go to the top of this. Verse 1, 2 Samuel chapter 21, because I be wanting to know what was going on. All right, so, and there was a scarcity of food in the days of Dawid for 3 years, year after year. And Dawid forgive me, Father. And Dawid sought the face of the Father. And Yahweh answered, because of Shaul and his bloodthirsty house, because they killed the Gibeonites. The sovereign therefore called the Gibeonites and spoke to them. Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Yasharal, but the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Yasharal had sworn protection to them. But Saul sought to strike them in his ardor for the children of Yasharal and Yehuda. So Dawid said to the Gibeonites, what should I do for you? And with what do I make atonement, so that you bless the inheritance of Yahweh? And the Gibeonites said to him, it is no matter of silver or gold between us and Shaul or his house, neither is it for us to put to death any man in Yasharal. And he said, whatever you say, I do for you. And they said to the sovereign, the man who consumed us and plotted against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining in all the border of Yasharal, let seven men of his sons be given to us, and we shall hang them before Yahweh in Gibeah of Saul, whom Yah chose. And the sovereign said, I give them. But the sovereign spared Mephibosheth. Oh, I can't wait until Yahweh allows me to come forward with a lesson about Mephibosheth. Oh my gosh, I want to see what avenue what approach he has me take with that. All right, so y'all be on the lookout for that. But so anyway, verse 7 of 2 Samuel 21. But the sovereign spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, son of Shaul, because of the oath of Yah that was between them, between Dawid and Jonathan, son of Shaul. And the sovereign took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bore to Shaul, Armani, and the other Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Milcah, the daughter of Shaul. My. Now y'all understand why she put on sackcloth, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Brazil. Did I say Brazilla? Barzillai, the Mahalathite. Okay, so I just wanted to know what was going on. Why was she in mourning? Why was Rizpah in mourning? And man, okay, so I'm telling y'all, breaking covenants, breaking oath, going against the work and the will of Yahweh is dangerous. And I almost found myself on the wrong side of right. Please discern when Yahweh is working, that you do not work against what he's doing. Okay, so we're sticking here with this on sackcloth. Now we need to go to, what does it say here now? Well, we'll have to see what it says after this praise break.
To be surrounded by your glory, what would my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Abba? Oh, in awe of you be still. Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I dance for you, Abba? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine. To be surrounded by your glory, what would my heart feel? While I dance for you, Abba? Oh, in awe of you be still. Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? While I sing Yada Yahuwah, will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. 'Cause Abba, I belong to you. I do.
Yada Yahuwah. We just needed a little praise break while I handled who was at my bell. Okay. All right, y'all. So let's go now. We are going to check out Esther chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. Y'all come on over there with me to the book about Queen Hadassah. I'm scrolling, y'all. All right, I got it. And then it was chapter 4, verses 1 through 4, and it reads, And Mordeख़ai learned of all that had been done. And Mordeख़ai tore his garments and put on sackcloth and ashes. Notice sackcloth was always accompanied with ashes. We see so far. And I know you all may. We know why, because of the incense. But I want to be thorough in this lesson. So for those that don't know, we are going to visit why ashes always accompanied sackcloth in times of mourning. Okay? But not in this segment. We'll deal with it in another segment. This is now a new series, the Sackcloth and Ashes Lamentations series. All right, and again, so Mordeख़ai tore his garments and put on sackcloth and ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried out with a loud and bitter cry. And he went up to the front of the sovereign's gate, for no one might enter the sovereign's gate wearing sackcloth. And in every province where the sovereign's command and decree came, there was great mourning among the Yahudim, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. And Esther's young women and eunuchs came and told her, and the sovereigness was deeply pained, and sent garments to Mordeख़ai to wear, to take away his sackcloth from him, but he refused. Okay, so again, hold on, Josh. So again, we see sackcloth in times of mourning. And so again, I told y'all, I just heard in my ear gates, sackcloth. There's a reason Yahweh spoke to me and said sackcloth. If he is speaking to you through this lesson, so be it. May you receive it. Yahuwah. All right, family. So the next verse we're going to be going over is the book of Job. Job 15:16. We know why Job was in sackcloth, right? Chapter 15, verse 16 says, How much less the one who is loathsome. Wait a minute, no, I think I did something wrong here. It was 16:15. I had it backwards, y'all. Job chapter 16, verse 15 says, I sewed sackcloth over my skin and laid my horn in the dust. I'm going to go a little further. My face is reddened from weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. That was Job 16, verses 15 and 16. Next, we have Isaiah chapter 15, verse 3. Isaiah 15:3. And if y'all know nothing about y'all sister, remember, Isaiah is one of my favorite books in the Bible. I had a pastor that called Isaiah. Was it Isaiah that was the baby Bible? Yeah, because, the whole canon, the canonized Bible, has 66 chapters. Likewise, the book of Isaiah the Bible has 66 books, but Isaiah has 66 chapters. So shout out to Reverend Dr. Kelly D. Scott, if she ever hears this, for calling Isaiah the baby Bible. That was cute. All right, so 15:3 says, in their streets they shall put on sackcloth, on the tops of their houses, and in their streets everyone wails, weeping bitterly. And forgive me, it was actually a guest speaker that came and ministered to the church, and she brought that out, and she taught a powerful lesson out of the book of Isaiah. All right, so anyway, now we have Isaiah 22:12. Isaiah 22:12. Yeshayahu 22:12 says, and in that day the Master Yah of hosts called for weeping and for mourning and for baldness and for girding with sackcloth. Weeping, mourning, baldness, and being girded with sackcloth. What was going on here? Y'all know I'm going to start from verse 1. The message concerning the valley of vision. What troubles you now that you have all gone up to the housetops? You who are filled with turmoils, a noisy city, a city of revelry. Your slain are not slain with the sword, nor the dead in battle. All your rulers have fled together without a bow. They were taken captive. All who were found in you are bound together. You have fled from afar. Therefore, I said, look away from me. Let me weep bitterly. Do not turn to comfort me because of the ravaging of the daughter of my people. For it is a day of uproar and treading down and perplexity by the Master Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh Sabaoth, in the valley of vision. Breaking down of a wall and of crying to the mountain. And Elam bore the quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and Kir bared the shield. And it shall be that your choicest valleys shall be filled with chariots, and horsemen shall take up positions at the gate. And he removed the covering of Yehuda. Ooh, so this is what was going on. He removed the covering of Yehuda, and you looked in that day to the weapons of the house of the forest, and you saw the breaches of the city of David, or Dawid, that it was great, and you gathered together the waters of the lower pool, and you counted the houses of Jerusalem, and the houses you broke down to strengthen the wall. And you dug a ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool. But you have not looked to its maker, nor have you seen him who fashioned it long ago. And in that day the master Yah of hosts, Yahuwah Sabaoth, called for weeping and for mourning, for baldness and for girding with sackcloth. I can't wait to read the rest of that whole chapter there. Yeah. So we see that was another great time of mourning. Yahuwah called for that time of mourning when he removed the covering of Yehuda. Now we have, let's see here, Yeshayahu, again, 58:5. Isaiah 58, verse 5 says, it is a fast, It is it a fast I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his being? Is it to bow down his head like a bulrush, and to spread out sackcloth and ashes? Do you call this a fast and an acceptable day to Yahuwah? So we see here, this is an example of people who would, put on the sackcloth and the ashes, but they were doing it ritualistically. Yahuwah was very much rebuking the people at that time, okay? So the next verse we have is Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 26. Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 26. Please do me a favor. Please hit that like button to support this video, to support this channel. Help me with this algorithm thing so that more people can get this video. Okay, thank you so much. So, verse 26 says, O daughter of my people, gird on sackcloth and roll about in ashes. Make mourning as for an only son, most bitter lamentation, because suddenly the ravager shall come upon us. Next is Jeremiah 49:3, and again we are going over the verses of people mourning in sackcloth and ashes. This whole segment is about sackcloth though, and again, like I said, we'll see how the sackcloth and the ashes were used together, why and how. So again, like I said, Jeremiah chapter 49:3. Let me get there. All right. Howl, O Heshbon, for Ai is ravaged. Cry, daughters of Rabbah. Gird on sackcloth. Lament and diligently search by the walls. For Malcham shall go into exile with his priests and his heads. Next we have Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 10. Lamentations. To lament, to mourn, right? 2:10. 2:10. And it says, let's start at verse 7. Yah has cast off his slaughter place. He has rejected his set-apart place. He has delivered the walls of her palaces into the hand of the enemy. They have made a noise in the house of Yahweh, as on the day of an appointed time. Yahweh has planned to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He has stretched out a line. He has not turned back his hand from destroying. And he has made the rampart and wall to lament. Together they have languished. Her gates have sunk into the ground. He has destroyed and broken her bars. Her sovereign and her rulers are among the nations. The Torah is no more, and her prophets have found no vision from Yahweh. Verse 10, The elders of the daughter of Zion sit on the ground, are silent. They have thrown dust on their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The maidens of Jerusalem have let their heads hang to the ground. I want to go a little further. Verse 11, my eyes are spent with tears. My inward parts ferment. My bile has been poured on the ground because of the destruction of the daughter of my people. As children and the infants languish in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, this is verse 12, where is grain? Where is wine? As they languish like the wounded. And wine is another name for juice, I found out too. So everybody think, when they was getting saucy when they was drinking wine. Come to find out, all of the juice that comes from the fruits was called wine. All right, anyway, as they languish like the wounded in the streets of the city, as their life is poured out in their mother's bosom. My. Ezekiel 7:18. Yehoram. What was the verse? Okay, 7:18. And they shall gird on sackcloth and be covered with trembling, and shame shall be on their face, and baldness on their heads. My. Have you guys ever grieved? Are you grieving right now for your nation, for our people, for our sons that are shot, hung, raped, for our daughters that are shot, hung, raped, for our babies that are abused? It is time to cry out in a way that you've never cried out before. We need to get the attention of our Abba. We need the mighty ones of Yahweh to come and fight for us. We need the Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach of Amunah, the Ruach of Aḥaｂ, the Ruach of Gevurah to be on us. We need strength. We need wisdom. We need love. We need these things to resound everywhere we are. Wonder why the Most High spoke to me. Sackcloth. Next we have Joel, chapter 1, verse 8. Joel, chapter 1, verse 8 says, wail like a maiden girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. Wail with sackcloth. Wail like a woman who is mourning her husband. Mourn like a mother who lost her son. Mourn as we understand that we are in this situation because we did not love each other right, because we did not keep Torah, because we could not stop bickering and fighting, because we could not stop breaking the heart of the Father. Mourn. Lament. Repent. Stop being so prideful and so boastful. Beat in your chest, I am Yahshua. Yeah, you also the ones that broke the Father's heart. At least your ancestors were. And the way a lot of us behave, we're still doing the same thing. My. Wail like a maiden girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. We also have verse 13 in this same chapter. So let's just do this. I want to read the whole chapter of Joel, and then I'm going to encourage you all to go and find scriptures on sackcloth and why Yahweh may be calling some of us to wail and to mourn for our nation and for our people. The word of Yahweh that came to Joel, son of Pethuel. Hear this, you elders, and give ear, all you inhabitants of the land. Has this ever been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Relate it to your children, and your children to their children, and their children to the generations after them. What the gnawing locust left, the swarming locust has eaten. And what the swarming locust left, the crawling locust has eaten. And what the crawling locust left, the consuming locust has eaten. Wake up, you drunkards, and weep. Wail, all you drinkers of wine, on account of the new wine, for it has been cut off from your mouth. For a nation has come up against my land, strong and innumerable. Its teeth are the teeth of a lion, and its fangs the fangs of a lioness. It has laid waste my vine and splintered my fig tree. It has made it entirely bare and cast it away. Its branches became white. Wail like a maiden girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. The grain offering and the drink offering have been cut off from the house of Yahweh. The priests, servants of Yahweh, have mourned. The field is ravaged. The ground has mourned. For the grain is ruined. The new wine has dried up. The oil fails. The farmers are ashamed. The vine dressers wail over the wheat and over the barley, for the harvest of the field is destroyed. The vine is dried up. The fig trees drop. Pomegranate also, palm and apple trees. All the trees of the field are dried up, because joy has dried up among the sons of men. Gird yourselves and lament, you priests. Wail, you attendants of the slaughter place. Come, lie all night in sackcloth, you attendants of Alua. For the grain offering and the drink offering are withheld from the house of your Elohim. Set apart a fast. Call an assembly. Gather the elders, all the inhabitants of the land, into the house of Yah, your Alua, and cry out to Yahuwah. How, family? How can we call an assembly and gather the elders when the elders don't agree with each other and they're tearing one another down on YouTube? How can we call for the elders and all the inhabitants of Yasharal, every place we were scattered, to come together in the house of Yahuwah and cry out to Yahuwah? We can't come together on social media. Verse 15. And I'm going to tell y'all, these social media days are numbered. These social media days are coming to an end. There will be no more fellowshipping on YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, Signal, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, or any other. The time is coming. The days are numbered. Alas, for the day of Yahweh is near, and it comes as destruction from the Almighty. Is not the food cut off before your eyes? Joy and gladness from the house of Aḥaⴱ? The seed has rotted under their clods. Storehouses are laid waste. Granaries are broken down, for the grain has withered. How the beasts moan. The herds of cattle are restless, because they have no pasture. The flocks of sheep also perish. I cry to you, Yahuwah, for the fire has consumed the pastures of the wilderness, and a flame has set on fire all the trees of the field. Even the beasts of the field cry out to you, for the water streams are dried up, and fire has consumed the pastures of the wilderness. Sackcloth is what we put on our bodies when we're mourning, grieving, lamenting, repenting, and wailing. That's all I got, family. Love you. The following promotion is brought to you by my beloved sister, Shaba. Thanks, Shaba.
Barak Yahuwah, we need him like we need our coffee and tea in the AM. So come out, show your support for our Giving Bean fundraiser using the QR code above. We've got your loose leaf tea. We've got your coffee, whether it be K-cups, ground or bean. We've got cocoa, chai, shortbread cookies. So what are you waiting for? Scan that QR code and place your order now to support Connected in Spirit and Truth Assembly. So your support is helping us to purchase a land that we can fellowship and have a community, so we can homestead, grow our own food, praise Yahuwah, the Most High, and come out of the matrix. Help us to help Yasharal, every single one of us, to become one body in one place, not scattered to and fro amongst the four corners of the earth, so we can come out of her, my people, so we can cultivate, grow, learn, and fellowship with one another. Either Rabba for your support, place your orders now, and Yahuwah be with you.
Using your cellular phone, you can easily scan this QR code and support this ministry and our mission for homesteading, a place of refuge, a place of safety, a Goshen for our people.